alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to tonight's Nahw class under the Madrasatul Mumtiaz free Nahw and Sarfu online class. And today's Nahw class. We are on class 37. We are on class 37 and we are continuing our discussion on the huruful jar. Huruful jar, that is the genitive particle. And what we call the genitive particle are those particles that we call huruf in Arabiya that make an ism, that is a noun, to become majrur, be in the genitive case. So, and we explained that most of the time that jaru usually denoted by a kasra under the last letter of the particular word that is in majrur state, and we gave some examples about that. So, but today, inshallah, we'll be moving forward with that, and we'll be looking at a few more applications of the huruful jar. How do other types of ismu, particularly the domir, how do pronouns, the domair, how do they react to huruful jar? And that is what we have brought here, just like the same way we explained when we explained the last topic in our khawatu, how we explained that when the domirs, the domair, when they are in a nasbu case, we can no longer have them the same way they are, and a simple fatha would not be enough to show that that letter is now in a nasbu case. So in the same way, when a letter is now in jagu, when a word is now in jagu state, when this is now majrur, then we can't also simply use a kasra to show that that domir is now in jagu state. So here we are going to look at the how each of these pronouns, each of these domair that are in reference state, how they change when they become jaru. And we are going to use the word ala, the harf ala, which is one of the huruf al jar. We use it to illustrate this change. So when we put ala plus huwa, then it becomes alayhi. Ala, that is what on him. Ala plus huwa, then it becomes what alayhi. When huwa is now in nasbu case, so in jagu case, so it simply becomes he. So ala plus hiya, when hiya is in jagu state, it becomes ha. So I have an example from the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says alayha al-malaikatu ghilazun shidad, that on top of the hellfire, ala, that's those that are guiding around the hellfire, are malaikatun ghilazun shidad, they have angels that are there. And ala, when we add hum to ala, they, the noun they, the pronoun they, we add it to ala, it becomes alayhim. Like we have this in Surah Al-Fatiha, ghayril maghdubi alayhim, that don't have anger on them, Allah's anger on them. Now, so ala plus hunna, when we add hunna, remember that hunna is the domir that is used for the jam'u of ghaib al-mu'annaf, that is when the plural state of a third person female, of third person women, the plural state of third person was women's cupboard. So the of women's jamu. So when I say women's jamu, sorry, I said women's jamu. So when they have so many, when we have many women, we use hunna for them, unlike men that we use hum. So ala plus hunna is what alayhinna. So yudinina alay. So we have an example from the Quran. Allah says that what yudinina alayhinna min jalabibihin. Like she told the believing women that they should drag their clothes over their heads. So yudinina, they should drag their jilbabs over their head alayhinna. So now the next one is anta, that is you, and when it is now in jagu case, ala plus anta in jagu state now becomes what ka. So alayka, that's when we say salamun alayka. So you hear some people that will say salamun alayka, that peace be upon you, or something like barakallahu feek. So we have that is how anta transforms. So this transformation, we also have what ala and plus antuma. So al antuma becomes what alaykuma. It becomes alaykuma when we have it in jagu state. So when we add ala to antum, which is in rafa case, it becomes what alaykum, and that's why we say assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. So so we simply just say what alaykum. We don't say ala antum, because that antum, when it is in jagu state, it becomes kum. Ala antunna. So the same thing happens to antunna. It also becomes what alaykunna. Then ala plus ana. So when we add ala to the first person singular, then that ana, it becomes what we now use yahul mutakallim instead. So it becomes yahul mutakallim instead, and it becomes what alayya, because ala already has the alif maksura is already like a ya. So when we add another ya to it, that ya now has shadda. So that's why it becomes alayya. So similarly, ala plus nahnu, it becomes alayna. Sorry, there is a slight mistake here. This noun should have a mad. So it is alayna, ala. So alayna, salamu alayna, something like that. So that is how each of these letters, when they are in jagu states, each of these doma'ir, when they are in jagu states, they take these forms. So these forms these are exactly the same forms that they take when they are in nasbu case. So and we are now further, we should also know that this transformation, we only use ala as an example. So it's going to happen exactly the same way. Generally, for the most part, it's going to be in the same way for the other huruf al-jar. For example, when we have min and we want to add antum to it, it means that is from you. So it becomes what? It becomes minkum. Or from me, it becomes minni. It becomes minni. And like Allah says, like in haqqal qawlu minni, and the word became to from me. And fi, if you add it to antum, we go fiikum. For example, we say what? Barakallahu fiikum. So we want to say that may Allah put barakah in you, may Allah bless you, may Allah give you barakah. So fiikum. So instead of fi antum, it becomes what? Fiikum, because of the jagu. So and when we have lam, like we have lam, and what is coming after it. We know that normally our lam, that is an harf al-jagri, when we have something after it, it usually takes kasra. However, in the case of this doma'ir, it is going to what? It's going to have fatha. So like lakum, lana, lahum. So all those things, the lam will have what? It will have fatha instead. And except for the ana, that when we want to use it for with yaul mutakallim, it becomes li or liya. So it is only in that case that the lam will not have a fatha. So that is how the doma'ir, that's how they react to huruf al-jar. However, so now something that we have to notice, that a mistake that it's easy for people to make is that we can mix up some words that are called zorf, that is zurufu zaman wa makan. So when we say zorfu zaman wa makan, we say they are adverbs of place and time. So these words, they somehow act like huruf al-jar. If you remember very well that we discussed al-idafa, which is one of the ways that can cause a word to have majrur. So there are two things that can make a word have majrur, either idafa or harf al-jar. We've explained the huruf al-jar, but there are some words that they are actually what? They are actually ismu, they are actually nouns. And so when they are combined with another noun, they are going to have an idafa relationship, which is going to make that noun have kasra. However, to the undiscerning eyes, you can actually think that these words are huruf al-jar. For example, if you look at the word like inda, which is like with, you can also see that bi, which is an harf al-jar, al-ba, is also what? It also has a similar meaning. It's inda, that inda, that is with, or fawqa, which means above. And you can also see that an harf al-jar that is similar to it is what is ala. So we can easily confuse this. So we have to take special note of this, we should know that the huruf al-jar, they are a limited number. However, the zuruf are far more many, and we can find them, and we have examples like inda, like fawqa, like tahta, like qabla, like ba'da. So all these words, they are not what, they are not harf al-jar. Instead, they are zarf. And what makes the word after them to have idofa is what is to have kasro, to be majrur, is what is al idofa, and not huruf al jar. So if we look at this, for example, you see that it is easy to confuse when we look at fawq al ardi or ala al ardi. So yes, they have basically the same meaning. However, the the nahwu rule that is guiding them are different. Why? Because fawqa is an ismu, so it is a zorf. So fawqa is a zorf, and it is what, it is a type of ismu. However, ala is an harf. If you remember very well our classification of words, we said we have three types: the ismu, which is the nouns, and the harf, which is the particle, and the file, which is the verb. So in this case, ala is what is an harf, is a particle. However, fawqa a is a type of noun, which is what, which is zarf. So those are some notes that we must take to understand this huruf al jar, so to avoid confusing them with other words that are not huruf al jar, but usually when they are used, the word after them will now take what, the word after them will take majul. So that is that for huruf al jar. We shall be moving on to the next topic from next week, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it a beneficial knowledge for those of us that have watched it, and for those of us that have watched it, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from us as an act of ibadah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.